When you love a YY person, you will understand that they are not scary. Not only are they absolutely loyal, but they also provide a strong sense of security. To prove that YY is his true love, he immediately left the thick-skinned girl he had been pursuing for 2 years, and he chose to interview a YY girl. Little brother A, so you like being pampered? Just because of his previous life, his gentle girlfriend was greedy for his property and pushed him off the rooftop with her younger brother. And this girl, when she heard the news of his death, forced everyone to dig up his grave, hugged his smelly body, and kissed it to avenge him. She burst into the funeral and killed everyone. In the end, to be with him forever, she wore her wedding dress and drank his remains mixed with poison. At this time, he looked at the person he was interviewing in front of Lu Nuyen, his eyes cold. "What are you planning to do again?" "Don't, Hong. Tonight you can only belong to me." He hugged Lu Nuyen and said in a low voice, "You will only belong to me forever." Hearing that, Lu Nuyen frowned slightly. "But in order to run away, you actively flattered him, said such displeased things, and kicked him like that." "Ha, prove it to me." Lu Nuyen slowly approached. Just as he was about to open his mouth, the feeling on his lips was both familiar and domineering, feeling his oral cavity being invaded by something warm and domineering. He proactively responded for the first time. Lu Nuyen, his hand slowly hugged her waist. This action made Lu Nuyen very satisfied. She thought he was just pretending to compromise. But even if it was fake, she still had the courage to sink in. A few minutes later, Lu Nuyen finally let him breathe again. His eyes looked hot at her. "I want you." Hearing that, Lu Nuyen was stunned, tears welling up in her eyes. "Really? You want me?" He nodded. They're all 20-something years old, so they naturally understand. This sentence clearly shows that he is not truly compromising. Lu Nuyen still wants to believe him. Then the two fell into a passionate night. When the morning sun shined through the curtains, he slowly opened his eyes. The person next to him was like a water snake wrapped around him, staring intently at him on the pure white bed sheet, which still left a bright red stain. In his previous life, he was forced into this matter. After he finished, he didn't pay any attention. "Are you awake?" Lu Nuyen spoke with an expressionless face, but her heart was full of fear. She was afraid that everything last night was just a dream. She was afraid he would continue to escape her control. "If what you said last night was a lie, I will ignore you." Hearing that, he used himself. He knows Lu Nuyen is a crazy person. He dares to do anything. "Don't worry, from now on you only belong to me." "So why did you go looking for An Yuying yesterday?" Hearing that, he burst out laughing. "Yesterday I was planning to confess my love to An Yuying, although I don't know how many times this has been. But it was after this confession that Lu Nuyen became crazy, wanting to possess him." "What's wrong with you that you want to save me?" "Nuyen, yesterday I found Wan Yuyan to want to break off the relationship. Actually, I don't like her at all." Hearing that, Lu Nuyen's eyes became even colder. "Do you think I will believe this lie? If you still dare to look for Wan Yuyan, I don't mind turning her into a specimen and placing it here, letting her watch me take over you every night. I know Lu Nuyen can do it." He hurt Lu Nuyen too deeply. "Now that you have come back to life, then use your whole life to prove that you are not lying." Thinking that, he hugged Lu Nuyen even tighter. Lu Nuyen really likes the feeling of being hugged by him. Her eyes looked hot at him. "Kiss me again." It was noon when I woke up. Lu Nuyen is no longer around, the handcuffs have disappeared. Seeing the jar of fat on the table, he smiled. This is Lu Nuyen's special ointment. It is very effective in treating scars. She just wanted to mark her sovereignty on him. What's wrong with you? Do you want to save me? It's not impossible. At this time, the villa bedroom door opened. Butler Fuqua quickly welcomed him. Young master, are you having dinner now? He had a good impression of Fuqua. Previously, the person who advised him the most was this butler. Where is Lu Nguyen? Miss has arrived at the company. As soon as he sat at the dining table, he saw the servant bringing up bowls of soup. Fuqua immediately laughed. This morning, when the young lady told me to prepare a lot of this nutritious soup, I was startled. It turns out that young master lamb has already bloomed. This is the bone stew soup that the young lady prepared for the young master. He was silent. A great man is considered weak by his woman. I don't drink. Even if I jumped down here, I wouldn't take a single sip. So he didn't start eating quickly, but deliberately skipped the bowl of soup. Suddenly the phone rang. He glanced at the call notes. Hateful Mr. Bo. Thinking for a moment, he still picked up the phone. Immediately afterwards, Mok Tien Ba's angry voice came. You beast, where's the phone? I heard you were kidnapped. Do you know how worried your mother and younger brother are? Waiting a day and a night, still no call from the kidnappers. What do you want to do? Hearing that, he pinched his face. I know this, beard glider. Could it be that they wanted me dead at that time? Next time you are not allowed to talk to your father like that. Mok Tien Ba on the other end of the phone was clearly stunned, as if he didn't believe that was what he said. Mok Keen next to him whispered, maybe my brother was really kidnapped. I didn't want to involve you, so I pretended to have a bad relationship. Now, maybe the kidnappers are by your side. Mok Tien Ba also woke up. Otherwise, how could the shy boy dare to speak so weakly? Son, I'm just too worried. Even though I can't take a photo of you, you can ask someone. Is there anything else you want from me? As long as I can do it, I will definitely do it. I just want to give you a perfect body. Hearing that, he burst out laughing. Who said I was kidnapped? I'm just going home to my wife. He really heard the wind turn into rain. His head was like a watermelon, a wood feather, all the broken things. No matter how stupid you are, that's how you are. Mok Tien Ba immediately got angry. You beast. What are you talking about? I'm your father, you dare talk to me like that? Just one sentence, you beast. Is your mouth full of holes? If you open your mouth and don't spit out feces, you'll still defecate. Those names sound like retards. Don't call him Mok Tien Ba anymore, call him Move On Bat. You are dead. He immediately hung up. You pastors just wait there, let me see the scene. Fuqua was extremely surprised. He didn't expect him to argue with the Mok family like that when he just said he was going home to his wife. Fuqua was moved, so he shed tears and added a bowl of soup himself. Seeing that, his face turned black and he refused to drink. It's so boring in the manor, I really want to be with my wife. The CEO thought so. He picked up the phone, searched for the chat. It was all about bank transfer, but it was never accepted. At this time, in the senior classroom of Lu T Group, all senior managers were shaking like leaves. Lu Nguyen was twirling a pen in her hand, her heart filled with excitement. Today, at noon, the assistant reported that An Nguyen was working as a summer intern at a subsidiary of the group, and wanted to get an internship certificate, and getting an internship certificate also meant that they were officially admitted to school. Lu Nguyen was pondering whether or not she should disappear forever. Suddenly, a message notification called a great-grandson rang out. Lu Nguyen stopped and picked up the phone. Then all the senior managers saw Lu Nguyen cold as ice, the corners of her mouth gradually curved up. Mom, General Manager Lu actually knows how to smile. This study ends here. This month's bonus is an additional $1 million for each person. Having finished speaking, Lu Nuyen stood up and left, leaving a group of bewildered people sitting in the office. Lu Nuyen looked at the words in the message, "I miss you when you come back." Unable to calm down, thinking for a moment, Lu Nuyen replied to the message, "Almost." So Lu Nuyen said to her assistant, "I'm going home, you can do the rest." Hearing that, Assistant Lu Mong was surprised. "Oh my God, General Manager Lu actually wants to leave work early." Inside the villa, when he received her text message, he immediately went to the kitchen. "I want to make dinner for Lu Nuyen. This is also how you can pay the current price." Seeing him wanting to go into the kitchen, all the servants in the villa were startled. The kitchen is also considered a dangerous place in the family. If something happened to him, they would all be finished. "I'm okay. I just want to make dinner for Lu Nuyen, not everyone's business," the eldest child almost cried. "Young master, this is not a work matter. If something happens to you, I won't be able to live." Under his pleading, the eldest child reluctantly agreed. Seeing him skillfully chop vegetables, turn on the stove, and cook oil, the eldest child was a bit surprised. "A young master with golden branches and jade leaves like you knows how to cook. They don't know that in the Mok family, the person who cooks is you, not the maid." At this time, Lu Nuyen returned. Seeing that the hall was empty, she went upstairs, went to the bedroom, opened the door, it was empty. Her face immediately turned cold. "Brother, why aren't you so obedient?" So Lu Nuyen took out her phone and opened Pai to view. Dreaming about staying in a villa. Just when Lu Nuyen was doubting, Phuc Ba quickly ran from the kitchen. "Miss, you're back, where is he?" "Master Lam is in the kitchen. He said he wanted to make dinner for you himself." Hearing that, Lu Nuyen was stunned for a moment, then slowly restored her normal expression. Seeing that, Phuc Ba wiped his sweat. "Luckily you spoke quickly, otherwise your life might have been lost. Miss, Mok Thu Jia is almost done, please go downstairs." Lu Nuyen nodded coldly, turned and walked towards the dining room. At this time, he brought the food to the dining room, then saw Lu Nuyen. For some reason, when he saw Lu Nuyen, he felt extremely happy. He spread his arms and walked towards Lu Nuyen. Lu Nuyen kept looking at him in bewilderment as he walked over and hugged her, then kissed her forehead and said in a low voice, "I've already made dinner, let's eat too." Starlight sparkled in Lu Nuyen's eyes. Is this what it feels like to have him? Think about it for a moment and see that it's not possible. Then her face turned cold again. Seeing that, a question mark appeared in his mind. "No, are you a dumb student?" Lu Nuyen wore a long red dress that reminded people of the past night, scenes from last night appearing in his mind. His face suddenly became slightly red. He sat down next to her position, and at the same time lit the prepared floor and turned off the lights. This manuscript surprised Phuc Ba. Previously, he always sat in the farthest position from Lu Nuyen. Lu Nuyen is also very satisfied with his change. She felt that it would be good if he could express himself. He scooped a bowl of beauty soup for Lu Nuyen, then scooped a bowl for himself. Seeing this, Phuc Ba quickly interrupted, "Miss, this bowl of soup looks delicious, maybe just let me drink a bowl first." Phuc Ba was afraid he would poison his food. Lu Nuyen coldly glanced at Phuc Ba. "No need, this is what my brother did, I trust him. Even if it's poison that penetrates the intestines, as long as he tells me to drink it, I won't hesitate to drink it." Hearing that, Phuc Ba felt a bit embarrassed. He smiled calmly. "I don't blame Phuc Ba, maybe I should drink first." Having said that, he drank 2 sips of soup, then picked up some dishes to try. Seeing that, Phuc Ba felt a bit embarrassed and smiled. it's me, a petty person, who took advantage of the gentleman's village, sorry. Lu Nuyen said coldly, your ferry is usually gone this month. Hearing that, he laughed, Nuyen, Fuqua is just for your safety. Let's forget about the bonus deduction. Try this soup. Lu Nuyen nodded, then he looked at her. Chao Na stirred a spoonful of soup and slowly brought it to his mouth. Seeing that, Lu Nuyen asked, what are you looking at? He smiled and said, you look beautiful. Hearing that, Lu Nuyen asked, so are you more beautiful than An Huen? Damn it, this is a deadly question and I was such an idiot before. Such a beautiful woman is in front of my eyes, but I can't see it, so now I want to look at her for the rest of my life. I just regret it so much. The first half of the sentence made Lu Nuyen shaken, but the second sentence left her disappointed. Regret what? I regret giving myself to you yesterday. He felt the air around him suddenly become cold. Why are you suddenly angry? Could it be because you have a strong sense of survival? Hastily said, I regret not discovering your beauty before. It's so damned. Hearing that, Lu Nuyen's cold aura immediately retracted and disappeared. The curvature of her lips became more and more obvious. Seeing that, Fuqua was shaken. Young Master Mu, are you talking sweet words? Miss, you haven't smiled like that for a long time. His words made Lu Nuyen laugh and shake her whole body. A drop of soup flowed down from the corner of her mouth. She naturally raised her hand to wipe it, then her hand immediately touched his hand. Even though they had intimate contact, the two were still immediately stunned and their hearts pounded. Seeing that, he quickly retracted his hand. Sorry, I just wanted to help you clean. Lu Nuyen's red lips opened slightly, feed me. He looked at Lu Nuyen's red lips and swallowed a mouthful of saliva. So, he directly scooped a spoonful of soup from his bowl and slowly brought it to Lu Nuyen's mouth. Seeing this, Fuqua was horrified, you know that young lady has clean eggs. But right after that, he saw the young lady open her mouth to drink, even licking the spoon. Lu Nuyen's voice slowly passed over, Fuqua, do you also want to eat dinner with our brother Nen? Hearing that, Fuqba's back turned cold and he quickly shook his head, signaling everyone to leave immediately. This feeling makes Lu Nuyen very satisfied. Brother, you really didn't lie to me? Even so, I accept it. This session lasted for a long time, the two of them ate from the dining room to the bedroom. Just as Lu Nuyen had just married him, the phone rang. Look at the note, Goddess Master. Damn it, when I blocked the number I missed it. Of course Lu Nuyen also saw it. The air immediately dropped to 8 degrees. He naturally hung up the phone, preparing to kiss Lu Nuyen. Unexpectedly, the phone rang again. Now when he was about to turn off the power, he heard Lu Nuyen's cold voice, you go. In his heart, tens of thousands of baby horses were galloping. An Yuyan, you better be reasonable, don't say things that make my wife unhappy. As soon as the phone was picked up, Song An Huen rang out, Brother Mu, where are you? Before he could speak, Lu Nuyen's domineering kiss came. The old man is having sex. Hearing that, An Yuyan was confused. What is this sound? Brother, tell me. Who was the girl who took you away that day? Just as he was about to curse, Lu Nuyen provocatively asked, Brother, who is the person you love the most? I only love you. Then there was a series of strangely familiar gasping sounds. An Huen began to pay tribute to Lu. Brother Mok, what are you doing? Why is there a woman's voice next to you? The two rabbits almost suffocated him. So he let Lu Nuyen out. This action almost caused Lu Nuyen to explode. The old man is with his wife. He shouted, if there's nothing wrong, go away. If there's something wrong, go away. Having finished speaking, he was surrounded by 2 rabbits, and then Huen's shrill voice rang out again. Brother Mu, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. You've disappointed me so much. Hang up. Seeing that, Lu Nuyen smiled a beautiful smile that he had never seen. Nuyen, we should be a little more restrained. Otherwise, I'm afraid I'll die on you. The type of Lu Nuyen has always been a proactive person, but unexpectedly this life will still be the same. Obviously you're the man. Lu Nuyen is very satisfied with his attitude towards Nuyen. Today is crazy, I know, but I can't control it. What should I do? Then another crazy night. The second day, he woke up and Lu Nuyen was nowhere to be found. Doesn't this little girl need sleep? After breakfast, he changed into clothes, looked at himself in the mirror and exclaimed, "Of course, you are beautiful thanks to silk." Thinking for a moment, he texted Lu Nuyen, "Uncle, I want to go back to Mukjia to get some things over there." Lu Nuyen happily agreed. She looked at the message in her hand and was stunned. Wife. She likes this name. Thinking for a moment, she changed his note to husband. He asked Fukba, can you lend me a car? This manor can't take a car. Hearing that, Fukba laughed, "Young Master Mu, you're joking. The car is in the gazebo, you can drive it. It's all given to you by the lady." Then trouble Fukba. Ba has prepared some bodyguards for me to follow me out for some business. Yes, young Master Mu. Entering the gazer, he was amazed. Mom, I'm more majestic than any car show in the world. I've never seen a luxury car like this, but now I get to drive it to fight. Quickly, a convoy of luxury cars moved on the streets of the capital, and the vehicles on the road all took turns staying away. At this time, in the villa, Mukkim had just been picked up by Mukji from the hospital. The family of 3 were talking and laughing happily together. Dad, do you really not care about your older brother anymore? Or should you contact your older brother? If your older brother is not dead, I also want the kidnappers to leave us a complete body. After all, he is still the older brother I love the most that Mom told me about. Lu Noyetmi also spoke up fakely, "That's right, husband, my eldest son is also my son. Go ahead and talk to the kidnappers, so we can have an intact body to bury." Muk Tianba frowned. Every time he thought about that disobedient son he had a headache. He was originally a good child, why did he scold me last time? If he hadn't scolded me, maybe I would have found a way to save him, but now I don't care about that bad boy anymore. After he comes back, I have to kneel down and apologize to me, then I will let him return to the Mu family. Hearing that, Lu Noyetmi looked worried, but inside she was secretly happy. Suddenly the villa door was broken by a huge force. "You beast, your father is coming to find you." Seeing him appear, Muk Tianba immediately got angry, stood up, and pulled out his old leg. "You beast, you still dare to come back. If you don't kneel down and kowtow to me today to apologize, I will beat you to death." But in the next second, several bodyguards immediately rushed out from behind him, pinning Muk Tianba to the ground. This action startled Mukkim and his children. "Big brother is back. I miss you so much. I heard you were kidnapped. I was so worried that I couldn't eat or sleep. All I could think about was going to save you. But big brother, why did you hit Dad as soon as you came back? Let him go." Lu Noyetmi also said, "Big son, are you back? Quickly let your father go. For the past 2 days, your father has been so worried that he has gone crazy, contacting the kidnappers to find a way to save you." He was speechless, and with just one glance, Mukkim and his children were pressed to the ground. Mu Tianba was angry, "You beast, let me go. I'm your father. He slowly sat down, pulled the maggot out of his hand and then used the buckle to whip it down hard, accompanied by Mok Tien Ba's pitiful screams. Mok Kim and his mother were both stunned. I'm tired of fighting, I'm relieved of my anger. He moved his arms and legs a bit and then slowly looked at Mok Kim and his children. He discovered that they were not afraid at all, but had some excitement in their eyes. He slowly spoke, Lawyer 2, next is up to you. Having finished speaking, he went upstairs again and returned to the storage room. At this time, Lawyer 2 Kai took out a piece of paper. This is the paperwork terminating Mr. Mok Ca Sin's relationship with you. Please sign. Mok Tien Ba was stunned, unable to calm down. Wait until he came down again, Mok Tien Ba still hadn't signed. Seeing him carrying a suitcase, he couldn't help but ask angrily, You bastard, do you really want that? He nodded. Seeing that, Mok Tien Ba was so angry that he burst out laughing. Good, 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 naughty boy, remember this, don't ever return to the Mu family for the rest of your life. Even if you kneel down and beg me, I won't accept you as my son anymore. Hearing that, he smiled, it's a given. Mok Tien Ba angrily signed the papers. Seeing this scene, Mok Kim and his mother looked at each other and smiled meaningfully. He collected the papers, looked at Mok Kim and his mother who were smiling in pain, and said, Ah, that's right, I'll take my shares too. The shares of Tanin Group were left to me by my mother. Don't you dare get a penny. This statement frightened everyone. Little brother, why are you holding so many shares? Quickly and unconditionally transfer the shares back to Dad. When you graduate from college, Dad will transfer them back to you. That's right, big brother, Dad is the chairman of the company's shares, so if you let him manage it, then he will have a say. Good little brother, listen to Dad, you transfer the shares into my name so your dad can take care of it. Brothers, do you want to vomit? Before, I didn't find this whole family so disgusting. He shook the divorce papers in his hand. You and I are just strangers. You scolded me, so I'm very angry. This is a legitimate protection measure. Do I need to beat you to release my anger? Then he said to the person behind him, Save your breath and hit, don't hit to death. This statement made Lawyer 2 Kai bewildered. Quickly, all three people cried out. Lu Noyetmi and her mother also lost their usual generosity. Take turns cursing him as wolf head, white eyes. I'm your mother. I've raised you for so many years and you tell someone to beat me? Don't let them beat you anymore. Hoo, it hurts. He calmly spoke, my mother's name is Engian, not Lu Noyetmi. Besides, I don't have a younger brother. Mok Tien Ba also began to beg, Mok Ca, tell them to stop. Dad is wrong, don't hit him again. Seeing that, he felt so humiliated that he didn't have any courage. In the end, who is the father? Mok Tien Ba gritted his teeth and said, Are you my father? That's right, the relationship has been broken off. There are a few things that need to be clarified. When I was 13 years old, my mother passed away, leaving me 30% of Tanin Group shares. This year I'm 23 years old, so you have to pay me the dividends of the past 10 years from Tanin Group. I've seen the company's financial statements, you have to give me 300 million. If I beat you today, based on the veterinary hospital's highest treatment standards, I will compensate you 10,000. In the past 10 years at the Mu family, I have spent a total of 18,000, so you must give me 299,997,200. Remember to transfer it to my card. Mok Tien Ba was frightened. Where did I get so much money? I don't care, you've spent all the money. My lawyer will contact you. If you can't get it back, I'll take you to jail. Hearing that, Muk Tianba angrily said, "You raised you for so many years, and yet you didn't put any effort into it." Star? He smirked. "Isn't it already clear? The second day after my mother passed away, you brought Xiao Tam home. From then on, every month you gave me 300 dong. When I turned 18, you gave me 18,000, and after that you never spent a penny from the family again, right?" Hearing that, Muk Tianba was stunned. He did not expect that he would only spend so little money, but still gritted his teeth. "But over the years, you've spent a lot on clothes and travel." Hearing that, he nodded. "But I eat the food at school myself. Even at home, I cook it. After cooking, I'm punished by not being able to eat. I wear clothes first, and I haven't bought a single set of clothes at 18 years old. Clothes? At 18 years old, I bought them all myself. If you work part-time to earn money, then consider it as child abuse." Muk Tianba was completely shocked. "It seems like you treat this child a bit harshly. Don't be dumb anymore, you can't miss a penny in dividends. If you miss a penny, my lawyer will send you to jail, adding the crime of child abuse." After speaking, he turned around and left, returned to the car, and drove to King's most famous luxury shopping center. As he entered the shopping center, he thought to himself, "Mom, a torn bag is 180,000, a torn bottle of water is 38,000. Looking at the phone, there was exactly 13,000 left in the account. He was silent. This was the money he had accumulated by doing all sorts of jobs. Originally planning to buy a bag for An Yuyan, now he plans to buy a gift for Lu Nuyen. But even so, he did not intend to spend the money on the black card. Lu Nuyen, racing for him, seemed to see his awkwardness. At this time, Fuq Ba came over. "Young Master Mu, are you satisfied with any of the dishes? Do you have my child to help pack the whole store?" Hearing that, he shook his head. "I don't need the fruit for Lu Nuyen. I want to use the money I earned to buy it." Finally, he chose a bracelet priced at exactly 13,000. Suddenly, a familiar voice came. Mu Xie heard An Yuyan's familiar voice, his face darkened. "Damn, what bad luck. If Lu Nuyen sees it, I will be lost again." He did not know that Lu Nuyen had just received news and rushed here. "Mu Xie, is it really you? Who was the girl who took you away that day? Moreover, why did you block all my contacts? So do you know who she is? Are you worried about me?" An Yuyan's close friend glanced at the beautiful bracelet in his hand. "Is this what you intend to give to my family's An Yuyan?" He said he was about to steal it. Seeing that, he withdrew his hand. "This is the fruit I bought for my dear wife." Seeing this, An Yuyan's close friend was angry. "Mu Xie, what do you mean? With this attitude, how can you pursue our An Yuyan?" At this moment, An Yuyan bit her lip, waiting for his answer. It's so pitiful, being played with in the palm of their hands. She has to be by his side like that to help Muk Kim put shares in his hands. My family's An Yuyan is so beautiful. Do you know that in today's society, if you don't have a sincere heart, you can't pursue any girl? If you are willing to buy me and An Yuyan a bag each, I will advise An Yuyan to give you a chance to get close to her. At this time, An Yuyan gently touched his shirt. "Mu Xie, you just care too much about me. Whether that girl likes you or if something happened between the two of you, I believe you were forced. Can we go back to the way we were before?" This scene was caught by Lu Nuyen, who had just arrived. At this moment, Lu Nuyen's face was extremely resentful. He quickly used his steps to avoid An Yuyan's hand that wanted to grab him. "An Yuyan, go away." An Yuyan's close friend was angry. "Mu Xie, do you suspect who you are? My family An Yuyan is so beautiful and yet she still forgives you. If you don't know what to do then stop it, and dare to curse a beautiful person." My wife is much more beautiful than her, has both beauty and money, and treats me very well. I also like her the most, love her the most. Seeing this scene, the murderous aura on Lu Nuyen's body instantly disappeared. She also stopped and silently observed. Hearing that, An Yuyan couldn't believe it. So what do you count? I've been chasing you for so long, what do you count? What do you count as? In the deck of cards, you count as a cock. In the theater you are the busiest. In the singing world you are the wildest. In front of MC Dan Na's door, you stand guard. You are Batman's big customer, Uncle Cock Luke's mainstay. Hearing that, An Yuyan could not hold back. Monsieur, you dare call me a clown? It's okay. I still have to go home to my wife. Don't show your gold in front of me in the future, I'm afraid my wife will misunderstand you. Besides, I've never liked you. Please don't be too sentimental. As for the things I gave you before, consider feeding them to a dog. Hearing that, An Yuyan's eyes were filled with tears, like a small flower hurt by her father. But actually, he really wanted to kill An Yuyan. However, murder is illegal, and beating to death is perhaps more enjoyable. He was startled by his thoughts. As soon as he turned around, his whole body stiffened. When did Lu Nuyen come from? Damned. Wife, I swear that I and An Yuyan have nothing to do with each other. If I lie, my whole family will die without a whole body. The murderous aura in the air was hidden. Lu Nuyen slowly walked up to An Yuyan and gave him 2 slaps in the face. Get out. Mr. CA, get out or I'll throw this MT into the sea to feed the sharks. An Yuyan and his best friend were both shocked by Lu Nuyen's strong aura. They didn't dare to speak, so they retreated and ran away. Lu Nuyen's eyes fell on his hand, bought for An Yuyan. Hearing that, he immediately clarified, I didn't buy it for An Yuyan, this is a gift for you. Sorry, my capacity is limited, this is all the money I have to buy you a bracelet. Having said that, he opened the box. The next second, Lu Nuyen looked at the delicate bracelet, and the murderous aura on her body disappeared in an instant. Slowly extend your hand, help me put it on. Hearing that, he carefully put the bracelet on Lu Nuyen. Lu Nuyen was very satisfied and transferred this advertisement to him. Hearing that, Assistant Lu Mong was scared but quickly recovered. Yes, General Manager. Isn't Lu Mong what you really want? But I didn't say anything because he knew that what Lu Nuyen gave him he couldn't refuse. Lu Nuyen happily looked at the bracelet in her hand. It was very beautiful. I really like it. To be honest, just when she saw An Yuyan with you, she almost exploded. He also didn't expect Lu Nuyen to be so easy to coax. Just a few words plus a small gift made her angry. Like a little girl. Lu Nuyen looked at him with hot eyes. Brother CA, kiss me. He looked around, not understanding why everyone around him had disappeared. So he naturally bowed his head and kissed her. Lu Nuyen reached out and hugged him tightly. A moment later, Lu Nuyen's eyes gradually became dreamy. Brother CA, I want you, I'm startled here. Can we go home? Lu Nuyen nodded. The two arrived at the parking lot. Lu Nuyen pulled him onto the special northern version of the car, along with the noise. The engine started the convoy to leave the parking lot. A private car driver, with a disdainful look on his face, said, Luxury cars aren't any good, they're not as good as our cars worth tens of thousands. He asked his wife next to him and revealed an amused smile. By any chance, were the people inside the car socializing? The car entered the manor, the driver and Lu Mong got out of the car one by one. No one intended to call the people in the car down. 2 hours later, waiting for the two of them to get off the bus, Fuqua immediately asked the servant to prepare dinner. He proactively fed Lu Nuyen spoon by spoon late at night. After paying the price 10,000 times, he fell asleep. Lu Nuyen quietly wrapped herself around him, as if wanting to melt him into her body. "Brother, is it because of my body that you choose to stay? Cutting off relations with Muk Jia, cutting off with An Yuyan, is it all to protect them?" The more she thought, the more scared she became, then slowly stood up. As she left the room, she couldn't help but turn her head to look at him and quietly walked towards the secret room alone. At some point in his dream, he seemed to see a stunningly beautiful woman applying something. Early in the morning, he went downstairs and saw Fuqba embarrassed. "Fuqba." Fuqba chuckled, "It's already prepared for you, young master." He was a bit shy, feeling like he couldn't do that. "Actually, it's because your lady is so demanding." Coming to the dining room, he discovered Lu Nuyen was also there. "Why don't you go to work today?" Lu Nuyen nodded, "Just stay home and handle it this weekend." For some reason, he always felt that Lu Nuyen was very strange. She will drink soup, looking both beautiful and seductive. The way she looked at me also made people yearn. In the evening, Lu Nuyen said, "Drink some?" Seeing that, he was bewildered. "Does your wife want a drink? Then I'll risk my life with you." Lu Nuyen stood up and took out a bottle of Moutai from the wine cabinet. "Drink white wine." "Okay, I'm happy." Right on the way back to the dining table, Lu Nuyen felt a sharp pain in her leg. Unsteady, the bottle of Moutai in her hand also flew out. Fortunately, his eyes were quick, one hand supporting Lu Nuyen's waist, the other hand catching the bottle of Moutai. "Hey little girl, be careful." His opening action made Lu Nuyen's heart pound. "You rotten man, just after drinking a few glasses of wine, you started to drift off." Lu Nuyen pinched her eyes. She knew his diet wasn't good, so she kept drinking one glass after another until the whole bottle of wine disappeared. At this moment, he was reeling all over. Lu Nuyen stood up, holding her brother up like a princess. He snuggled into her arms. "Wife, your strength is really great. Are you planning to compete in the Olympics?" In front of him were two rabbits running. Lu Nuyen put him on the bed, he was trembling all over. "Wife, I admit I can't do it anymore, I don't have a drop left. We ride horses more than 10 times a day, who can stand it?" Hearing his shameless words, Lu Nuyen was silent for a bit, but the way he called his wife over and over again made her feel very comfortable. "Brother, do you still like An Yuyan?" He was startled and sat up. "Is Wen Yuyan a human or a ghost? Are you Wen Yuyan?" He looked into Lu Nuyen's eyes and gradually became dreamy. Seeing that, Lu Nuyen's face became even colder. She thought for a moment and then said in a fake voice, "It's my brother." "Does his brother not like me anymore?" As she spoke, she reached out to support him, afraid he would fall. Unexpectedly, he seemed to touch something dirty. "Don't touch me. I'm afraid of getting dirty." Lu Nuyen won't like it if you let it get dirty. "Who is Lu Nuyen? Don't touch me, don't touch me. I have to go wash up later." Lu Nuyen is of course my wife, she is my weakest person. Hearing that, Lu Nuyen was stunned. She couldn't believe these words were said by him. "Why don't you love me anymore?" "Brother, I'm Yuyan Ni. I love you more than a dog." After speaking, he immediately fell onto the bed. In the dim moonlight, he saw that beautiful, frail figure again applying something, along with his moans. Lu Nuyen's hand stopped. Whether what he said was true or false, it made her emotions much more stable. If not, perhaps she will once again enter the secret room that will hurt her. She didn't want to let him know these things, and she didn't want him to see her scars. Lu Nuyen asked with concern, "Are you thirsty?" He asked suspiciously, "Lu Nuyen, what are you doing?" The next second, a cold blast of air came and he used himself. Hastily said, "Wife, what are you doing?" The cold air immediately disappeared in his heart, thinking to himself that it was actually better than air conditioning. Nothing, just couldn't sleep. After speaking, Lu Nuyen poured him a glass of water. "Let my wife burn it for you." His bold words made Lu Nuyen pause. But Lu Nuyen did not hesitate. She took a sip and kissed him, feeling cold tears spread to his throat, rising and falling accordingly. After drinking the entire glass of water, he was satisfied. "Wife, you are so beautiful." After saying that, he immediately fell asleep. Lying next to him, Lu Nuyen also began to fall asleep. The next day, he lazily woke up, transformed into a young man full of vitality. Today, Lu Nuyen still did not go to the company but stayed at the manor to handle work. She felt that being able to live with him here until old age wouldn't be bad. But she knew she couldn't, so she wanted to hold tight to all the time she had with him. Soon, lawyer from Kai brought his new household registration book. Mok Tien Sin and Mok Tien Ba still have no intention of handing out dividends. I have already arranged and prepared to sue, just want to confirm once again. After all, the two are biological father and son. Hearing that, he smiled faintly. Other than giving a sperm, he has no responsibility at all. Just go, let that old man realize the truth. It's best to send him to jail. Receiving his confirmation, Tu Kai said goodbye and left. As soon as he received the household registration book in his hand, the first thing he thought of was to register his marriage with Lu Nuyen. He was also angry with himself at his thoughts, went into the study room and secretly went to Lu Nuyen's side, gently kissing her good morning. Facing him who suddenly appeared, Lu Nuyen was stunned and heard her heartbeat. Then she turned around and gave him a passionate French kiss. "This is a good morning kiss." Seeing that, he scratched his head. "It's still my wife." A moment later, Lu Nuyen asked, "How do you feel?" "It feels very good. It would be better if the kissing time was a little longer." Lu Nuyen took the opportunity to say, "I'm asking how your health is." Hearing that, he laughed. "My head is still a bit dizzy, but I'm definitely not weak. We can fight another 300 rounds. Lu Nuyen remembers, didn't you say to be restrained? He patted his chest. "Isn't this a full night's rest? By the way, I want to discuss something with you." As he spoke, he turned his head to look at Lu Nuyen's computer screen. He saw a group of people stunned, speechless and falling to the ground. "Aren't they all, you, a general secretary like you, holding a meeting at home?" But Lu Nuyen didn't seem embarrassed at all, just gently closed the computer. Along with that, the video in the meeting room also turned black. Senior managers cannot sit still. Lu Nuyen asked, "What do you want to discuss with me?" At this time, I don't have the heart to talk about marriage registration. He stammered, "You don't see me bothering you, do you?" Lu Nuyen looked at him in a panic and felt a little funny. "No, did you promise something? Did you know that I already have a household registration book? Are you planning to register your marriage with me? That's amazing. I promise to let you move around the manor freely, but on the condition that you don't run away and you must always report to me. Every night you must come home with me. Furthermore, you are not allowed to look for Wen Yuyan. If you can't do that, I will capture all of Wen Yuyan and your family and mistreat you." Hearing that, he thought to himself, is there such a good thing? Actually, I don't want to talk about this. I want to say that I already have a household registration book, and I want to register my marriage with you. Lu Nuyen looked at him attentively. Actually, it's not important to register your marriage. As long as I'm always by your side, even if I don't get married for the rest of my life, it's okay. Could it be that you want to open up to her? Or to soften her heart and then take the opportunity to escape? Lu Nuyen's mind was filled with all kinds of thoughts. Seeing Lu Nuyen not saying anything, he was a bit disappointed. If you don't want it then fine, then I don't have any other ideas. Before he could finish his sentence, Lu Nuyen pulled him by the collar and dragged him out. An hour later, both of them had a certificate in their hands. Lu Nuyen shyly said, "I have no intention of registering marriage with you, just to satisfy a small request of yours." Seeing this scene, he felt like he was dreaming. "Lu Nuyen, I owe you a wedding and a wedding ring." "I don't need your ring, I just want you to be tormented by me." "You can choose whichever ring you like." He seriously looked at Lu Nuyen. "Wait until you earn money, I will definitely buy you the most beautiful ring." But Lu Nuyen shook her head. "Yours is mine. The black card I gave you has a limit of 100 billion, all my money can be given to you. You can buy any ring you like. I know that card is in the locker room, but I've never used it. My wife has both money and beauty, and is willing to spend money on me. Where can such a good wife come from? I really deserve to die. No. I want to earn money to buy it myself." Feeling Lu Nuyen's face gradually cool down, he quickly reached out and grabbed her face. "Lu Nuyen, you are your man, you can't be the only one in the family who can give me a gift. I want to earn money to buy it myself." After speaking, Lu Nuyen regained her expression. "I know, don't call me by my name from now on. So what do you call me?" "Wife, Lu Nuyen, baby, darling." Lu Nuyen smiled. "It's up to you, you can call me whatever you want, as long as I don't change people." "Lu Nuyen, I'm joining my friend's circle, okay?" Hearing that, Lu Nuyen frowned. Seeing that, he cursed himself for being stupid. "Lu Nuyen, wife, baby, can you post to your friend's circle?" Hearing that, Lu Nuyen nodded. "Of course, brother can do whatever he wants." That night, the marks on his body became even clearer. Look at the tooth marks on the shoulder, still very clear. Lu Nuyen frowned. "I know. I don't want to use medicine to treat scars. This was left to me by Lu Nuyen. I wanted to stay here forever to let the whole world know I'm mine." Hearing that, Lu Nuyen's eyes sparkled with starlight. "Do you really think so?" He nodded. "Only like that can I feel your presence. At this moment, I thought to myself, I have to use your tone to talk to you, so that you have nothing to say." The next day, he felt that the marks on his body were even deeper. Is this girl a dog or a wolf? While eating breakfast, he said to Fuqba, "Fuqba, you don't need to follow me out anymore, it's a bit unfamiliar." Fuqba was about to say something when he continued. "You can go. Inform Lu Nuyen, rest assured, I won't run away again." Seeing this, Fuqba went to call Lu Nuyen. A moment later, he returned. "Miss can speak." He didn't hate being supervised by Lu Nuyen. He just thought that in the future, he still had to go to school and would have a group of bodyguards follow him wherever he went, which was too eye-catching. So he drove out of the manor. Looking through the rearview mirror, he discovered that there was a commercial vehicle following not far behind. This further proves his guess, not letting Fuqba follow is just a fake trick. Anyway, Lu Nuyen's love for him carries. Highly possessive, but he doesn't hate this feeling. At this time, Lu Nuyen had arrived at the office and was hesitantly looking at the phone screen. Just now, she saw his smile in front of the camera, and her whole body went cold, but she felt like he hadn't discovered anything, so she felt a little more reassured. King's University hasn't opened yet, but many students are still in the dormitory, including his brainless brother from his previous life. After hearing the news of his death, the person who cried the most was this friend. He remembers No Chi Thuong's family very clearly. Next, disaster will happen very quickly. Thinking of this, he felt that he would definitely bring this friend with him in this life. At this time, No Chi Thuong was squatting to go to the toilet. At the most important moment, the phone in my hand slid down. Thinking for a moment, this guy picked up a pair of chopsticks and was disgusted. Walking quickly, suddenly a voice rang out, "Old No, what's wrong with you? Why are you eating poop?" Mo Tri Thuong suddenly turned his head and saw him. Immediately my hand shook and the phone I picked up fell down. "No, it's not like you see, my phone fell down." He naturally discovered Mo Tri Thuong's situation. Laughter echoed throughout the dorm room. "Yes, yes, yes, whatever you say is correct." When the phone returned to Mo Tri Thuong's hand, he washed it again and again, wiped it again and again. He almost made himself nauseous looking at it. During the whole process, stay away from him. "Old No, you really are a buffalo. Even if you have a bad luck, you wouldn't be so bad as to eat that thing. I'll bow to you too." The phone call has also come back. Mo Tri Thuong is no longer upset. "Tell me, old man, what happened?" And he asked, "Have you gotten your internship certificate yet?" Hearing that, No Chi Thuong shook his head. "This summer I'm only working part-time jobs, not doing any internships. I'm planning to start a media company, you should come and work for Blogger." Hearing that, No Chi Thuong widened his eyes. "Brother, what are you talking about? You from the Muck family are not even as good as an ordinary student like me. Where will you get the money to open a company?" He calmly said, "My wife has money, just pretend that your wife has it. By the way, who's your wife?" Mo Tri Thuong then remembered the purpose of meeting him today, but he mysteriously told the secret. Seeing that, Mo Tri Thuong said, "Then it seems you are lying. I told you, although you are a little handsome, even when Juan can't chase after you, how is that possible?" Before he could finish his sentence, he took out his phone and flashed a photo of the marriage certificate on her face. "My wife is Phu Ba, has money, beauty, and is also 3 years older than me. Tu Singa has a girl 3 years older than her who can hold a piece of gold, but my wife is not a piece of gold, but a mountain of gold." After he explained, Mo Tri Thuong immediately grabbed his chest and stomped his feet. "You deserve to die, it hurts more than killing me." But No Chi Thuong was truly happy for him. Firstly, he escaped from An Huyen. Secondly, he found true love. Mu Sie, since you're married, just live well with your wife. An Huyen doesn't deserve you at all. If I wasn't afraid of your anger, I would have advised you a long time ago. By the way, I don't want to be a blogger, I want to be a manager. What else is there to say? Of course I have to live a good life with my wife. I may need to remind you about being your manager, but can I take out your phone first? Okay, the manager is of course yours." Finally, he compromised under Mo Chi Thuong's phone attack. After negotiating, the two went downstairs and planned to rent an office. On the way to the parking lot, he also told No Chi Thuong about breaking off his relationship with Mok Jia. No Chi Thuong once again shouted in surprise, praising him, "Bao Kao." At this time, in the parking lot, a group of people were surrounding a car. "Mom, this is the Nyack Bridge, one of 6 produced globally, the price has been raised to 100 million. Do we have a giant like this? I want to take a picture, get out of my way so I can take a picture. You and me, come here and take a photo together." As the first day of school approaches, Wen Huyen, as Trung's beauty queen, was chosen to perform at the night welcoming new students. Today, She came to report on the performance. She also really likes things like this that can be revealed. Seeing his best friend calling her, An walked over a little shyly, looking elegant. Isn't that a bit bad? But her best friend pulled Juan. It's nothing, we just took a picture and posted it online. Looking at the two people leaning against the car, taking pictures, the classmates around them all kindly reminded them, this is a luxury car worth 100 million, you two should be careful, if you damage it, even if you are a beauty queen, you won't be able to sell it at this price. What are you afraid of? Even if the car owner comes here, he will be conquered by our Yuyanese beauty. Besides, what's the point of just taking a photo? Having said that, his best friend immediately pulled on Huen. The two of them lay on the silver-gray hood, taking a few beautiful selfies. Suddenly, a cold voice rang out. Who gave you permission to take pictures? Hearing the familiar voice, Huen's hand trembled and the phone dropped with a click sound. Hide.